everybody. It's your girl Desi and Beth in the house. We are going to break it all down. We've all been through week 4. We're riding into week 5. Thanks for joining us. Please hit subscribe, like, share, all the things. Feel free to join us in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. Love your input. And quite frankly, it's more fun when we've got more people to chat. But I want to start off with, for those who don't know, I live in Florida. Beth lives in Georgia. And we just want to take a moment to say how much our hearts and prayers have gone out to all of the people in the U.S. Southeast who has been affected by Hurricane Helene. I know I've living in Florida, we've had a lot of hurricanes. I live in the Tampa Bay area. We have never had this much damage in our specific area in the 20 plus years I've lived here. I've been out helping people. I've driven all the way to the coast and literally just manpower. They need help manually. Of course, donations and all of that help too, but they need manpower. I think that goes for everywhere that was affected. But continue to do what you can from where you are. But please just know that we are, hurting with you and trying to help you. So Beth, I don't know if you want to say a couple things about it too.
Yeah, I would say Atlanta was really fortunate. We were supposed to get a more brunt of the storm than we did. And fortunately, we were spared, but the coast was not, and neither was North Carolina, Asheville in particular. And there's roads that are going to be shut down for probably close to a year, some of those passageways. There's so many roads, so many bridges and waterways. So just prayers out, and hopefully we can get water restored and power restored, because that's what's happening there right now. They're out of gas, they're out of fuel to power their generators, and there's no cell service. So they're really just working on the kindness of strangers, and they're all just binding together to make things happen. So we are thinking and praying for them and doing what we can from a distance, because sometimes bringing in more people is not what they want. So prayers for everybody, and hopefully we don't see anything like this for a long time again.
Yeah, 100%. So, all right. So we're going to get into it. Technics Chick is here in the house. What up? How you doing? Okay. So let's jump into my favorite thing. My team, they put it on, the Patriots. I'm so excited, guys. We're back at 500. My 49ers did well. Brock Purdy continues to look great. But the sexiest thing that happened in that game was Fred Warner's pick 6, man. I lost my ish. I'm going to tell you, I was going crazy. There's just something about a pick 6 that just is just sexy, man. And he just, boom, Supermaned it, caught it, got back up, and ran it into the end zone. There were some really tough blocks that were happening from his teammates to allow that to happen. So shout out to my man, Fred frickin' Warner. And Beth, do we peel the Band-Aid? No.
I mean, we might as well just say it. It was ugly. It was painful. We were out-coached and outplayed for sure. My hope is that Josh Allen is feeling good enough after his couple of hits that he feels good enough to play this week. I will say, what was interesting is that what I found is that Josh Allen has only played one full game this season so far. It's the first game of the season. The next 2 games were blowouts, and they took him out early. And the last game was also a blowout, and they took him out early. So our backup quarterback's getting plenty of reps if we ever need him, but we're not going to. We're just going to keep rolling. The game is over. We're ready for a new, fresh start, and you got to lose some to win more, right? So we'll make it happen.
Well, and as you guys that listen to our show regularly, my husband is a Ravens fan. So I had to sit on that couch and watch that game. And it was tough, because I definitely was rooting for the Bills. But I have to say to any Ravens fan out there, Ravens flock, let me tell you, something's clicking. I know you guys have a new OC, and it was looking a little rough, but things are firing on all cylinders. And, congratulations to you guys. King Henry continues to do his thing. And you've got, You got Bateman, but Bateman's on my fantasy team, so I can't expect much from anybody on my fantasy team because I'm basically the Carolina Panthers of my fantasy league. So, but no, shout out to Ravens flock. They definitely did their thing.
They did. They had our number for sure. They knew exactly where to be. It was very clear that our defensive line has been hurting and that there's a lot of key players out. So they hit where they need to hit, and they looked amazing. They really did. If it wasn't against the Bills, I would have loved watching that game.
I feel you because I was definitely in those shoes the week before. Tiffany's Chick says Fred Warner and his wife actually talked about a pick six on their podcast before the game. Spoken into existence. Yes. So I am a faithful listener of the Warner House, which is Fred Warner's podcast. I did listen to that. They were talking about the trifecta. Fred always has 3 goals with each game. And that was, she had just come out and said pick six, when he was quizzing her on what the trifecta was. So
nice.
I've been saying a lot on especially Twitter that Superman wears red and gold. And I'm going to stand by that because that guy is a beast. And definitely in my mind, one of the front runners for defensive player of the year. So we'll leave all that there, but I would be excited if we continue with the pick six streak. I'm okay with that if that's always in the trifecta.
If that's an option.
100%. So let's go into this. Guys, if you guys follow us on Instagram, you will see that every week we do a Rate the Fit. And Rate the Fit is just a little fun that we like to have where you guys get to be interactive and choose who wore the pregame outfit the best. And this week, I have to admit, I was really impressed with myself because I picked all quarterbacks. So it was a quarterback competition, who wore it best. And let me tell you, this one was like, it caught on fire on my Facebook. Like people were posting left and right of who they thought it was. And it was actually kind of a mixed bag, but the overall winner, well, let me start with this. The runner-up, and being a Niners fan, this kind of pains me, but it is what it is because he did look good. It's Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has this beautiful blue, like royal blue. What is that? Velvet? It's not velvet, but
no, it's wrapping paper. I was not a fan of this one. I'll be honest, like I feel like he's wearing like blue Christmas wrapping paper.
Okay. I can't unsee that now that you said that.
I'm sorry. That's what I saw. I mean, I think it's also because I've seen in our previous picks, there are some other gentlemen wearing some beautiful blue suits, and this one just didn't stand up to the test of time as the other ones. So
yeah. Okay.
That's just me. That's just me.
I think because the other quarterbacks that were in our collection were kind of dressed down. It was like this cool, like urban,
more
relaxed
casual,
look.
Yeah.
I looked up Josh Allen, girl. He wore a sweatsuit. He wore a sweatsuit.
He wears sweats everywhere. I mean, also it's Buffalo. I'm pretty sure everybody on the team wears sweats everywhere.
Yeah,
none of my players are ever going to be on this Rate the Fit thing because it's just not.
Well, I'll hold.
It's not the culture there.
I'll continue to have hope, but so I thought originally this was a beautiful, sleek looking blue suit, but now that Beth said it's wrapping paper, it legit does look like the Hanukkah blue wrapping paper that is like a foil kind. Like I can't unsee that now. But anyway, that's what Dak wore to the game. So he was runner up. Our winner of this week is Baker Mayfield. And he has, he's rocking the Florida style. He's got this beautiful greenish, what color would you call that?
That's seafoam.
Seafoam. Yes, very good. Seafoam outfit that has like this very, it's
floral, butterfly, nature.
Yeah.
No, it's nature.
It's nature. Oh. I shouldn't do this segment. You should totally.
Let me. There's butterflies and plants. Looks like maybe like some little poppies or something on there that are springing up from his waistband. And are his shorts also the same pattern?
I was going to say these are shorts. So the pattern that ends at the bottom of his shirt just kind of continues on into his shorts. But I think the thing that sets it apart is he's got both backpack arms, like both the straps he's got both the straps of his backpack
taking
on.
care of his back.
He's got like the aviator glasses on, and he's got like this hat, and he just looks like he's ready to ball out. So congrats, Baker Mayfield. You are our fit of the week. All right. So let's carry on. Can you believe that we are already a fourth of the way into the season?
It is insane. You had sent a text about that earlier, and I was like, I don't know, that can't be right. And then I did just basic math and realized you were absolutely correct. Which I know that's where we're at. Listen, kids, life, work, all the things. But yes, like it's been fun to see how everybody has blown every expectation out of the water that we had for the season. So
yeah, it's
so
like,
who knows what the rest of the season is going to hold.
I know. That's what makes it so exciting. Like, this is the ultimate soap opera for me. And for those of you that don't, you might be someone who's like a new fan of football. So I just want to kind of explain. It's 17 weeks of football. There's a bye week, so there's 16 games. And so if you just divide that by 4, here you go. We're at a fourth of the way into the season. So I want to go over the stats. So let me share my screen here so we can look at the stats. This is from ESPN. And to Beth's point, we are going to have some surprises here. So let's take a peek. All right, stat leaders. So here's what I'm going to be really, really excited about, because I think this gentleman does not get enough credit. I think he's still, like, for the people out there, just going to continue to, like, he's never going to meet their standards. I'm just going to put that out there. To a lot of us, we are not surprised. But my boy, Brock Purdy, is second in passing yards this season. He is superseded by only Geno Smith, and that was from Monday night's game because he had a good game.
I was going to say, that's also a name you wouldn't think would be sitting in the top 5, let alone in number 1, right?
Right. So the top 5 is Geno Smith from the Seattle Seahawks, Brock Purdy from the 49ers, Dak Prescott in the wrapping paper suit from Dallas, CJ Stroud from the Houston Texans, and then you've got Jared Goff, which we will talk about Jared Goff here a little bit later. He had a tremendous game on Monday night. But those are the top 5. Yeah, top 5 passing leaders. So those are our QBs. Let's move over to defense. So the most tackles in the NFL through week 4, we have Indianapolis Colts EJ Speed with 47, tied with Nick Cross from same team. How insane is that?
Right.
That is insane considering it's the Colts.
Also. And that too.
Okay, where's the offense? Robert Spillane is from the Raiders, 44 tackles. Troy Anderson from the Falcons, the Dirty Birds, and then Zach Von Brown, Ryan is holding the 5th position from the Eagles. Here another one, like when we're talking about rushing yards. So we're looking at our running backs. Derrick Henry, King Henry, is in first place with 480 yards. And
that's just because of this past week. Let's not. He had 200 yards in the Buffalo game.
Okay, well, I was about to give him some flowers because
don't. It all came from last week.
But it was a formidable team. I mean, it's the Bills. I mean, you got to give them some cred, right? Some? No, not feeling it. Okay. So I'll give King Henry flowers because this man was counted out. A lot of people were like, he's washed. He's, whatever. He's got traded to the Baltimore Ravens, and they just, a lot of people just thought his career was over. And here he is, 480 yards. And second place, another surprise, Jordan Mason from the 49ers, who has done a tremendous job filling in for Christian McCaffrey with his injury, with his Achilles, which we will also talk about later in our.
And I'll be honest, I don't recognize that name at all. And I'm not a San Francisco fan. That's not a team that I follow hard, but like that name to me meant nothing until until now, and I think that's because of Christian McCaffrey, right?
Well, yeah.
He's
And,
getting a chance to show now.
correct. And well, not only that, but our backup also got injured for the season. So, this guy was really running back number 3. So, a lot of folks would not know his name, but kudos to him. He's doing a tremendous job filling in those shoes. Number 3, this is who you, I think, talked about. Was it 2 weeks ago when we were talking about the surprise player, or who you're most excited about? Saquon Barkley. Philadelphia Eagles is doing a great job, 435 yards. And here we go, the Saints, Alvin Kamara, 362, followed by Jonathan Taylor, also from the Colts, 349. I don't know why I keep doing that to Colts. Sorry, Colts fans, if you're watching. I really don't really mean to be like that, but it's still.
I mean, well, and they also, they're it's not like their record is showing all of these high marks that they're getting in rushing, and like they're 2-2. Like right. They're not, their record does not reflect
the efforts of these
where their players are sitting. Yeah.
100%. All right. Another fun stat that I like are sacks. So we've got our sacks leaders. And for those, again, who aren't sure what a sack is, that's where you have the quarterback tackled before he throws the ball. And so the man who's done the most or wrecked the most havoc is Aiden Hutchinson from the Detroit Lions. 6.5 sacks on him. And also, just to explain, the way you would get a half sack is if you and your teammate sacked the quarterback together. You would be credited half the sack. That's funny. Just because I'm childish. But anyway, Kyle Van Noy, who we just talked about 2 weeks ago, who bounced back from a orbital fracture. Kyle Van Noy of the Baltimore Ravens with 6 sacks. Pat Jones from Minnesota, 5, tied with Will McDonald from the New York Jets. And rounding up 5th place is Myles Garrett, who is a stud defensive end with 4 sacks. So that's our sack leaders. We're going to carry on. All right, this one's gonna be interesting too. Receiving. So wide receivers, most yards, Nico Collins from Houston Texans, Malik Neighbors from the Giants with 386, DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks, 366, Juwan Jennings from the 49ers, the receiver you wouldn't expect from the 49ers with 364, and Justin Jefferson, tremendous athlete, wide receiver from the Minnesota Vikings with 358. Any surprises from this list?
No, I actually thought this list was pretty good. I am surprised that Justin Jefferson did not have more yards. I feel like he's everywhere all the time. So the fact that he is not in 1 or 2 surprises me probably more than anything else.
Yeah, and Minnesota's hot, right? Like they are on a roll, and Sam Darnold is taking, he's just taking names. I mean, he's just going down and just drive. But yeah, I agree. All right, carry on to interceptions. We just talked about Fred Warner being the pick 6 in this last game, and we'll start there. He is tied for 3rd. There's been 2 interceptions, Fred Warner amongst one of them. Camu Grugier-Hill from Minnesota Vikings, Tyrann Mathieu of New Orleans Saints. They all have 2. All 3 of those athletes have 2 interceptions. Then in 2nd place is Kirby Joseph from the Detroit Lions with 3, and Xavier McKinney. He's just got a knack for picking balls. He's got 4 interceptions on the year so far. So,
and that's a crazy stat. There's been 4 games. In order to get that many interceptions in just 4 games in such a short period of time, he had to have been in the right place at the right time every time. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I don't know. I tend to be more of a defensive player. I just like the defensive side of the ball. I think if I ever played football, I would have wanted to be a linebacker. So I love sacks. I love getting pick 6s and interceptions. And like that stuff is just so fun for me to watch in a game. So shout out to all these athletes working hard, doing the doggone thing, and making football exciting for all of us who are watching. So, this is a fun fact. Technics Chick says, apparently the Bosa family calls sacks squishies from when Nick and Joey were kids. Can you?
That's fabulous.
Go get a squishy. Oh,
Maybe we'll go ahead and maybe we'll instigate that, implement that at our house too. That's pretty
I'm like,
sure
you
my son would
definitely,
hate me.
you have to do that with Gabe. I want to see that on video. I want to see, go get a squishy. Actually, does he play defense?
Right now he plays everything. Yeah.
Okay. Well, go get a squishy, Gabe.
He's gonna
That's
hate
awesome.
Liz.
All right. All right, here we go. It is cocktail mocktail time, guys. Every week we share a favorite recipe to celebrate your football festivities for the weekend. And Beth is our lead bartender. What do we got, Beth? What we got?
I'm super excited. I'm hoping that I can like show this and have it because this is my first successful layered drink. Hold on. Here we go. Can you tell? Can you see it?
Ooh,
Like,
I can see it. Yes.
So this is our Cincinnati Bengal cocktail, Houday. It is vodka and Kahlua. It is, and you have to stir it. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to stir it in order to take a sip. But it is, when I originally tried it, it was a little too strong. So I ended up using a little bit of Bailey's instead of, in addition to the Kahlua. So if you like cream in your coffee, you would like to add some Bailey's to it. But straight up, it just tastes like iced coffee. It's very lovely.
I like the orange glitter vodka. Like that sounds fun, even though I don't.
So it, and I don't know if like it's not really orange glitter. It's orange glitter in vodka. Similar to what I did that first time for the
Jets,
Baltimore.
for the Baltimore.
For Baltimore.
The last week.
Yeah. Okay. So I just, the glitter is becoming kind of a theme now, I guess. But that was our cocktail this week. And then the mocktail is actually really good too. I would suggest maybe not following this recipe exactly because my son squeezed the mandarin oranges. And it's a lot of work. He said that it was not worth the work. So you could always just substitute orange juice. I'm sure that would be fine as well. But I went with the original, and the mandarin oranges are just so extra sweet that it was very good. So ginger beer, mandarin oranges, and a little bit of grenadine to give that same color difference between the two. So that we've got our Bengal stripes and our Houday. So,
and might I add, this could be a really fun drink for Halloween for the kids too. So if you have
it could be a Halloween, a pumpkin drink. Well,
you could still do. It's orange and black. I don't know if it would be
I think I've got something for Halloween coming still.
Ooh,
so I think you should just wait on that one.
All right.
But we've got a couple weeks for that.
You'll wait. As you guys can see, I still have not figured out the whole sound effects thing to make my segments separate, but eventually.
It's season 2, maybe next year.
Build every year. Hey, but I am making my own images and I think they look kind of cute. So speaking of which, let's go on to sports and medicine. I think a lot of you come to us in talks about sports and medicine because, as you may or may not know, I'm a PA. I've been practicing medicine for almost a quarter of a century now. That sounds super old. Beth is a physical therapist, doctorate of physical therapy. And so together we enjoy talking about athletes' injuries and expectations and all the things. So let me just get this out of the way first because I don't want to focus on this. Quite frankly, I am tired of talking about Achilles tendonitis. But it did come out this week. I don't know if you saw this, Beth. Christian McCaffrey has bilateral Achilles tendonitis. And so I'm dying to ask you this question because what had happened was he went to Germany, right, allegedly to get this PRP treatment. I thought I saw somewhere that he didn't get it done. But then I listened to Matt Mayoko from 49ers Talk, and it sounds like he did have treatment. He came back. Then it came out at press conference that they were going to ramp up his therapy, ramp up his training.
Right. Last I heard is that they were hoping that he'd be on ground in the next couple of weeks. Like, I mean, they were looking at November or returning type of stuff. So I don't know continue on with what you were saying. Cause that's the last I heard.
Yep. So we're tracking on the same wavelength here. So my question is, because I keep getting asked, I'm like, guys, I do not see bilateral Achilles tendonitis. I'm like, where's the boot? I still haven't seen a boot. Like, okay, he had PRP. How realistic is it that you think this man comes back at all this season?
I mean, so my guess is that the bilateral happened because it started on one side and then he favored the other leg, right? So then you're favoring your body, one side of your body over the other, and then you compensate. So one probably followed the other because of that, right? So if they're both damaged now, if he's getting PRP, now they're both damaged. So his ankles should be fine in a few weeks and his hips are going to be shot. It's just going to work its way up the chain.
Okay, I just needed you to say it because I didn't want to be the bad guy. Sorry. But that's essentially what I feel in my gut, right? Like, this is not a good sign. And Christian McCaffrey, we love you. Like, make no mistake, I do pray for you every night, because this is not the way that I want this year to go for you. You came off this incredibly, like, amazing, historic year last year. And the last thing I want is this for you. And so I can't even bring myself to just come out and say what I truly think, because I am superstitious. You guys know that. And if you don't, surprise, I'm superstitious. So I don't like to speak about these kinds of things because I just worry that it affects something in the universe. Cray cray as much as it is. But truly, I want the best for this guy, but this still doesn't look good. And I don't care what they're telling me. It's just, I've seen enough in my career, and Beth has certainly seen more.
Tendonitis it just nags, right? So without, I don't know. I mean, I've been wrong about other injuries because I look at the general population more than the athletic population. So I know that they do it differently there. But it would not surprise me if he came back. It wouldn't surprise me also if he came back and then had to sit back out again.
Yeah.
But hopefully the PRP, and I don't know a whole lot about the PRP, right? We talked about that last week. I don't know what that's really going to do for him and how that's going to change the situation. Hopefully it's great. Hopefully it makes all the right changes and he's headed in the right direction. So
there you go. We're going to put positive vibes out there. They're
doing great things in Germany. Just run with that.
Exactly. All right. So we're going to go. Okay, guys, Rashee Rice was taken out by his own quarterback. You are talking to a woman who loves the 49ers, who lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs. You are talking to Beth, a woman who loves the Buffalo Bills in the AFC, who always has to face the Chiefs. So I'm going to lead with this here because I'm petty. And I think Beth would like this. She hasn't seen this yet. So shout out to my friend John. I don't know if you found my podcast or not, but John sent this to me. And I can't not talk about this. So let me see. Is it this one? Is it this? Is this it? Nope, that's my ex. Sorry. You guys don't want to see that. Let me see. Try it one more time. Trying to find my Instagram, because they Instagrammed it to me. Inbox. Yep, here it is. All right, ready?
Let's do it.
Wait, that's not it. That's our podcast.
That's us. Look,
you would think that I was the one that had the Who Day drink tonight. It was.
I know. Look.
I
had to hold on to it halfway through the podcast. Here it is.
All right, I got it. And it says, at least Rashee Rice went out doing what he loved, ending a drive with a horrible collision and immediately leaving the scene.
Oh.
So
yeah.
I kind of feel bad about this, but I have to tell you guys that I'm friends with a guy who is a Chiefs fan. And when this injury happened, I literally went to him and was like, so is now a good time for him to follow up with the charges and like maybe do dual time off, and then he doesn't miss. Anyway, I'm going to hell for all of that I just said. I know. It's bad. But honestly, his injury is a horrible injury. It is something we see often in the NFL as well as other sports like soccer. It is an ACL tear, and he will be out for the season. So I am going to have Beth walk us through what an ACL tear is and what the rehab is and what does it look like for Rashee Rice to be able to return to the Chiefs. So I'm going to bring the diagram up. This is the inside of the knee. So Beth, the floor is yours, my friend.
Oh, stop. So your ACL is a ligament. You've got two ligaments that kind of connect your knee. You have the ACL and the PCL that kind of crisscross in the back over there. And then you've got lateral ligaments on the side. You have a lateral collateral ligament and a medial collateral ligament. And then across the top, you've got your patella and your quadricep tendon and your patellar tendon. The ACL is, as you can see in that picture, is the front of the two. They kind of make an X and they provide that stability in your knee. An ACL tear happens when you end up with a nasty hit, right? So as you can see, it's usually when you get hit from when your foot is planted and you get hit, like happened here. He got hit front of his knee buckled backwards, and it just tore. You often hear like a popping sound, and after that it'll feel unstable or might swell up, and you might not even be able to walk on it. You can also have an ACL tear and be able to walk on it, and it just feels unstable and uncomfortable. So this one was a pretty severe one. As we all saw, it was a pretty obvious ACL repair. They tried not to say anything at the moment of it, but I can't imagine anybody who watched that video and said it was not an ACL tear. The next step is going to be surgery for him. There's no other option right there. So you can do it several different ways, and you can speak on this as well. They can attach your own body to each other, or you can use cadavers or other methods in order to repair that ACL. And from that point on, you go through an extensive rehab process, months of rehab, to get back. Your non-weight bearing. You're able to weight bear as soon as you're tolerable to weight bear, but that's still usually a week to 10 days out before you can even bear weight on that foot well. So you're looking at 6 months before he can really do much of anything football-wise. So that takes him out of the rest of the season. The good news is that ACL repairs and rehab are usually pretty good. The outcomes are good. So he should be back next year without any issues and be able to play.
Yeah. So I'll just cover the part that she was mentioning. When you do a repair, a reconstruction, it's an ACL reconstruction that's done. You tear the ligament, you have to find a new ligament to place in the knee. That's why it's a reconstruction. And so there's two ways you can do that. You can do autologous, where you use your own tissue, like quadriceps, where they can take a piece of the quadriceps and use that to reconstruct the ACL, or they can do a cadaver. And sometimes that's dependent upon the quality of your own tissue. So, many of you may not know who Jason Verrett is, but he was a former 49er. He had both ACL tears, both Achilles tendon tears. I mean, obviously the quality of his tissue is not ideal. So they probably used cadavers on him because, his tissue is just one that's just not as strong as others. And so that's something that's usually discussed in the orthopedic evaluation once they get into the orthopedic office and talk about the reconstruction. So that's that for Rashee Rice. There were some other injuries that I think were around the league as well, but the one that Beth was mentioning right before we came on, I missed. So Beth, walk us through that injury that you saw.
So this was during the Broncos versus Jets game, and Tyler Bidet, I believe is how you say his name. He is on the Broncos, and he's a running back for the Broncos, and he was in a tackle where he kind of got kind of twisted up and rolled kind of funny. He looked like he got hit in the side, lower back, kind of in that flank region of his side, and he got up. He was able to get off to the sideline, and looked like he was going to be okay. He looked injured, but he looked like he was going to be okay. He was sore. Next thing you know, he collapses on the sidelines. unable to do much of anything. So they ended up putting him on a backboard, stabilizing his neck, really concerned about whether it was spinal cord injury, if it was just muscle spasm, and what it was. I have not seen anything that has told us what they decided it was, what type of back injury it was, if it was a spinal injury, if it was just muscular. But he does have, the good sign is that he does have all movement in his arms and legs. And so everyone was very grateful on that. But we are still waiting to hear what really happened. It was a very interesting play because, like I said, it didn't happen on field. I mean, the hit happened on field, but the collapse and the injury all happened after the fact. And it was a pretty intense moment on the sideline. So if you get a chance to look back at that and read a little bit more, I'd love to know. We'll have to follow back up on him and see if they give us more info on what happened to him.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Yeah. I mean, like we've said before, football is a tough sport, man. Trauma level injuries. I'll keep saying that over and over. Trauma level injuries. So prayers up to that athlete and hoping that he, has nothing that's residual or long lasting with that injury. All right, let's carry on to who's in the news. And guys, I think this guy definitely needed to be in the news. He is the player of the week, offensive player of the week. Let's look at it from the Detroit News. It is none other than Jared Goff, who balled out on Monday Night Football. He was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week because he had a perfect performance. Guys, I've been watching the NFL my entire life, and this is like super rare to have happen. But Goff made history while going 18 for 18 for 292 yards with 2 passing touchdowns and 1 receiving. So this was crazy. So 18 for 18 means that he had 18 attempts, so 18 throws, and he connected with his athlete for 18, all 18 of them. So he didn't have a drop pass or an interception or deflected pass or any of that. They were all completed passes, all 18 of them. And it went for 292 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 1 receiving touchdown. Or with
and
one.
I don't know. And I don't know if you heard, but he didn't even get the game ball. I don't know who got the game ball, but coach was in the press conference and he was like, "Oh, I didn't realize it was a perfect game. Shoot." And he didn't even get the game ball. Like, he was like, should have given him the game ball. Like, he didn't even get the game ball for the game. So I don't know who got it, but it was a pretty funny press conference. Yeah.
Oh, I got to search it up. Who does anybody know? Put it in the chat if you guys know who got the game ball. Who got the Lions? I can't even spell Lions. Lions game ball. Monday night. Let's see if it comes up. Is this from 2 hours ago? Well, the game ball went to Detroit safety Kirby Joseph and wideout Jameson Williams because it was the game-sealing interception while Williams grabbed 2 passes for 80 yards. Dan Campbell, unaware of Jared Goff's perfect game. I feel awful. Yeah. You should. Damn it. Gosh. I love me some Dan Campbell. Come on, Dan, get with it. Poor Jared, man. All right, you're gonna get our.
He's gonna get something special. Don't worry, it'll be fine. But I just thought I couldn't believe that he didn't get the game ball. I was like, oh,
he got NFC Player of the Offensive Player of the Week. So there you go. Screw the game ball. No, that sucks. Imagine balling out like that and you don't get the game ball. Like. Oh my gosh, I would be so ticked off. I can't even explain it. Anywho, let's go on to, we're going to wrap this baby up by going through the games that are coming up this week. There are some good ones as always. But this time, guys, I'm so sorry. Beth and I didn't put our picks out there. So we're just going to lightly talk about it. But if you want to see what we actually pick, we'll
post it later. We'll post it soon.
Post it on the Instagram. So follow us on the gram at Girlfriends in Football. We also share the recipe from the cocktail mocktail, all that stuff you'll find on our Instagram. So, but first, Beth, how did it shake out at the end of last week? Who got like How did we
You
do? Did we
won.
tie again? I
You
lost
won
again.
this week.
I
No,
won.
you won this week. You won this week.
Hey. Okay.
Yes, you won this week.
Okay.
So we're getting close. Gabe tied you with 9.
Okay, I'm Gabe
And
levels. Stop it.
I know, right? You're there. And then my husband and I tied at 8. So it was quite the week. It was very competitive.
Listen, since my fantasy team is such trash, you don't know what that's done for me just to win 1 week of picks of the week. So I will wear my
crown. You got it.
Wear my little crown. I'm gonna find a crown.
Yeah. That's what we need to do. We need to get a crown out for later on this season.
We do. All right, guys. So tomorrow night we got Bucks at Falcons. So this could be a really good game. And as we know, speaking of winners, we have the quarterback from the Bucks, Mr. Baker Mayfield, was fit of the week. But going against those Dirty Birds in Atlanta, what are your thoughts on this, Miss Atlanta?
It's do or die for Atlanta. It's do or die for Kirk Cousins, to be honest. It is. I think it's going to be a great game. I don't know how to word it correctly. It's going to be a great game. I am hoping it's going to be a great game. Atlanta knows it's do or die. So I think I'm going to go with Atlanta just because I'm here, and that's I got to do it. Sorry, Sherry. Love you.
I was going to say it's only because you're there and Sherry's not on. So guys, we tried to get Sherry to come on tonight. She was unable to make it. Definitely wanted her to be able to see that Baker Mayfield won our fit of the week, but also talk about this game Thursday night. So I will be up late watching that game. I think it's going to be a great game. Speaking of teams that like do or die, Jets, Vikings. Okay. So Jets in Minnesota, this is going to be tough. I also heard that Aaron Rodgers may be having some issues with the knee. Maybe there's some swelling on the knee. Well, here's interesting. 40. So you heard that Adams from the Raiders is looking to be traded, right? So correct. He has an
he wants to go there.
Yeah, well, he has an air quote hamstring injury, right? So he's sitting out. He's not going to be playing. And there's talks of where he could potentially go. Many people think the Jets would be a good place. So I'm going to ask you this, because here's the 4 places that I've been hearing as potential landing spots for Adams. Is either the Jets, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Washington Commanders, and where was the other place? And the Ravens, which I don't know that the Ravens have the money for him, but I feel like I'm missing. What is there another one?
I don't. Those were the ones that I thought I had.
Okay, those were the. Okay, so what are your thoughts on those?
I think he's holding out for the Jets. He wants to go back and play with Aaron Rodgers again. They played together prior, right, at Green Bay. Is that correct? Or they played together before? Yeah.
Correct.
So I know that was kind of on the top of his list. I think any one of those teams would benefit from having him. I do think that Baltimore probably is probably his second. I would think Baltimore would want him, even if they don't have the money for it. I would think that they would go for him. But I do believe that Jets is still number 1 on the list.
So my problem with him going to the Jets is if like Aaron just looks so banged up, he looks tired, he looks rugged. If his knee is now having some swelling and issues, and we already know that he's got his Achilles repair and all these things. Like I don't think Adams is going to be happy there. Like I don't think. What if Aaron Rodgers can't finish games and like ends up, missing games, and then now he's moved from Las Vegas to New York? I don't think it's a good fit. Pittsburgh is interesting, but and he may be happy there. That might be a good fit because we know Pittsburgh was looking to acquire Brandon Ayuk, right? That was the whole thing between the 49ers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I think the Commanders might be a good place for him.
But I think their quarterback game is such.
Oh, did you mute yourself? What happened?
I lost you. You there?
I can't. Oh, there you go. Yep.
No, you there?
Yeah.
Oh, live people. This is what happens. I I agree with you on that. I don't think that I think the quarterback stuff that's going on with sorry, now I lost my train of thought. Um, Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think the quarterbacks are the right fit for him at this point, right? So now we're kind of sitting there in that um, quarterback, between Russell Wilson and Fields is not really the quarterback that he's going to want to play under because he's just got those shorter passes. It's not going to be his game. So I agree with you. I could see the Commanders being a good fit. But I think he wants to be with I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where he goes. He wants to go. So, and everybody's cool with it.
I think he's still a good, I would like to see him go to the Commanders. Jaden Daniels is young. He's upcoming. I think he's doing some special things there. There's just like, I think I mentioned this last week, right?
Gives
like
him longer term solutions.
Yeah, I think that's really what he's looking for. He's looking for a home. Like, I don't think he wants to go somewhere and just have it be, I think it's going to be a bust if he goes to the Jets. I don't know. I mean, Pittsburgh, they started out strong. I mean, maybe. Dallas was the other one. Dallas was the other one that people were talking about because they think that they'll shell out the money for it. But they already got CeeDee Lamb and they're still, I don't know. I don't know if Dallas would be, I don't know. Guys, what do you guys think? Feel free to put in the comments, post and let us know what you guys think about where you think he could go, or make sure you maybe let us know on our page on Instagram. Boy, I just blanked out. Feel free to do that there as well. I think I do like Davante Adams. I think he's a hell of a player. I would love to see him thrive somewhere. And he's got a daughter named Desi, so I don't dislike that either. So there you go. All right, let's carry on. We've got Panthers, Bears, meh. Ravens, Bengals. There's the Houday drink of the day. You can sip on that. And you could also, if you're a Ravens flock, you can also have the Ravens drink that we made.
Go back a couple weeks. It's on our Instagram. Go back. It's there. That is also it's also a very good one.
Who do you think is going to win that one? Madonna versus Lamar. What do you think?
I think Lamar is going to. After watching Baltimore beat our behinds, I can't fathom that. I don't know who's going to stop them. I think I don't know. So as much as I want Cincinnati to win, I have to pick Baltimore on that.
T. Higgins is back. I also have him elevated off my bench finally. So I agree, though. I think Ravens are just doing some special things. I think things are clicking there. It looks good. Then you have Dolphins, Patriots. Are we even?
I don't know anybody who's going to watch that. I know Dolphins fans aren't going to watch it. Golly, that last game was
painful. Painful.
It hurts.
All right, carry on. Browns, Commanders. Again, that might be a sneaky good game, right? But like what we just talked about. We have Colts, Jaguars. As much as we've talked about a couple Colts players in the top 5, I might watch the Colts game. Maybe I'm missing out. Maybe I need to watch some Colts games.
They're going to have a great game against the Jaguars, so you should watch that to see all their good players, because I feel like there's going to be some good plays that game.
You know what? I bet you that one's going to be televised because it's home at Florida in Jacksonville, so I might even get to catch that one. Bills, your precious Bills are playing the Texans in Texas. Ooh, mama, what do you think?
We're coming back. Listen, we had our loss. We had what we needed to do, We got our feelings hurt. We had some time to sit in our feelings, and I think we're ready to go. I say Buffalo, man.
Oh, by the way, talk to me about Von Miller.
Oh, Von Miller.
I like to know.
So Von Miller is out for 4 games. He is on suspension by the NFL for the personal conduct rule. I believe they have not said it outright, but I believe this has a lot to do with he was accused of beating his pregnant girlfriend last year.
I forgot about that. Yes.
Yes. So I believe that that's what this is all about. And I was reading somewhere, which I thought was very interesting, that when they restructured his contract, they kind of may have done it preemptively because of this. So taking a lower salary means you lose less money on your penalty fees. And because the way his contract was restructured, he took less money, but would get more money for bonuses for sacks and things of that nature. So he'd come out of pocket less right off the bat. It wouldn't hurt the Bills as much because it would free up cap space for other players. And so there's a lot of, I think maybe they knew it was coming down the pipeline. This is all speculation. Please don't hang me for it.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting take on the whole situation that there was a good chance that this was going to come down the pipeline anyway. So we're out for 4 weeks without him. I don't think it's the end of the world. He's only playing a few snaps a game right now anyway. He's a closer. He does make a difference. But I don't think that's going to make or break us right now.
All right.
We've got plenty of other people out.
All right. Well, if you got Damar Hamlin picking off, balls, I think maybe that'd be helpful, right?
Yeah.
All right. What do we have next? Raiders, sans Adams, as we know, versus Broncos. I don't know.
The Broncos are doing better than I thought they would too. I mean, but I think, I don't know. I will probably not watch that game also because I don't have a whole lot riding on that one. So
exactly. And then we got my precious.
And it's my son's birthday this weekend. So there's going to be all kinds of things going on.
Birthday? Wait, pause. How did we get through almost an entire hour without talking about Gabe's birthday?
Oh, because, we're talking football. Let's finish our games and then then we'll talk about that.
Okay. Home game for the Niners. We play the Arizona Cardinals. So I don't know. I think we got to keep projecting, keep going forward. There's potential. We get Debo, Debo's coming back. George Kittle's been in the rotation. Debo came back last game, but he had 2 receptions. What I'm really looking for is Brandon Ayuk to really start to get in the mix. Let's get him going. Mm-hmm. Although Jawan Jennings has been doing fantastic. Jordan Mason's doing his thing. Defense. We need to figure something out on defense. I think that's where my worry is. Our special teams has been rated the 32nd.
I did not hear that stat. Ouch.
That's why I said we're only looking at the top 5. I didn't want to say we were going to look at
You didn't want to scroll down and see the rest of them? That's fair.
It's pathetic, our special teams. I can't say that's why we're losing all of our, the games that we've lost, but it certainly was not helpful. So I'm going to keep the positive vibes going. I say Niners over the Cardinals. So carrying on to the next grouping, we have Packers at Rams. That could be a sneaky good game. Rams they came out of nowhere in that 4th quarter with us. And so I'm just still trying to figure that out. Giants at the Seahawks, Cowboys, Steelers. That could be interesting.
I think that'll be a decent game. I think the problem is I don't like either of the teams. Yeah. So
fair. But they both have some heck of incredible defensive players. So you've got TJ Watt on the Steelers, and you've got Micah Parsons from the Cowboys. So we will see who is the big bully in that game for sure. And then Monday Night Football, we have the Saints and the Chiefs. I'm
gonna lose. I'm gonna lose this week just because I refuse to pick the Chiefs. This
would be so.
If I lose to you over this, if I lose this week, it's because I can't.
But if you lose because of that, I will understand, because I am petty as well. That is why I'm not doing well in my fantasy leagues. I will never do well in a fantasy league because I'm petty. There's players I'm like, no, I can't pick that person because they play for fill in the blank. My pettiness gets in the way of success in those circumstances. So, that's why we're friends. It takes one to know one. So.
And I think, here's going to be my reasoning. The Saints came so close to beating Atlanta that they're mad that they lost to Atlanta. Therefore, they're going to come back with a vengeance and just. And it's not like Kansas City is playing that well. This is my thing. They keep winning, but they're not.
I know.
How many people did on those top 5 lists were from Kansas City? Like none of them, right?
I have to go back and look. I don't think so.
I don't think there was one player from Kansas City.
Here, I'm looking right now. But carry on. Carry on with whatever.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they can't be number one in the league when they're not number one in any other spot.
Now that you bring that up, not even Patrick Mahomes was in the top 5, right?
This is what I'm saying. Okay. Neither was Josh Allen. I mean, they're like it's yeah.
All right.
New Orleans.
Well, guys, sounds good. So hopefully we cleared some things up for you. Hopefully you learned a little something with us. Hopefully you laughed a little bit with us. Continue to pray for those affected by Helene. Do what you can with whatever resources you can, even if it's just prayers, because Lord knows they need it. Thank you, as always, for joining us. We are always so delighted that you show up and interact with us. Continue with voting for your favorite fits on our Instagram page, and share those recipes if you got some good recipes. Oh, I forgot to tell you, this week I actually had people submitting some of the fits of the week. So I love that too. Ooh, if you catch your favorite player showing out in an outfit before game, make sure you send it over to us. We'd love to highlight them and get them in the winnings for the week. All right, Beth, anything else to say?
That's it. Go Bills.
All right, go Niners. So you guys have a good week. Take care.
Bye.
We'll see you next week. Bye.